Go for it, Harvey.
Hey, I want to introduce to all our fans around the country. This guy right here, man, meant a whole lot to me when I was a scared rookie coming into the league. He was one of the guys that was a leader on our football team. And, you know, we had guys like Christian Okoye and Barry Word. But this guy right here, man, Todd McNair, was a guy that took a young guy like myself under his wing and taught me the ropes. And was a professional, was a hell of a football player. I think if he'd have been anywhere else other than Kansas City, he would have been a starter for the Chargers or the 49ers or for anybody else, man. I just want to welcome my brother, Todd McNair, man. Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Hey, man, I want to say this before we get started, and I really mean this, man. You meant the things that you did for me, bro, when I first got to Kansas City, man. You didn't have to do it. And, we all, we're playing the same position. And the way you did it as a professional, man, and your football IQ was off the charts. You taught me how to pass block. You taught me how to read defenses. Even though I was a first-round draft choice, man, I looked at you like a big brother along with Christian and Barry. And if you think about this, Todd, all them cats we had in that room, man, I think it was 5 or 6 of us from Christian to Barry, myself, Kilmer Anders. Who else am I missing?
Billy Ray.
Bill Jones, man. Yeah, man. That was a hell of a combination. Then we got BA that was our running back coach. I never knew that. I know you guys used to talk shit about, Temple and this, and I used to always tell you, bro, man, if you brought your ass in the SEC, you wouldn't have done nothing. But man, just the way how you operated and man, you used to, go head to head on who had the best hands on the team. And I did the same thing when I got to the Raiders, bro. That made me a better player. A guy named Tim Brown. And you two guys, man, I hold at a high level, man. So I love you and I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Appreciate that. Love you too, bro.
Hey, Todd.
Yes,
welcome to Warchant Wrap Up. As I mentioned before, talking to Harvey, and touched you a little bit with you before we went on the camera. Your era of Chiefs football put us to where we are now, because when you came to Kansas City in 1989 as an 8th-round draft pick, it wasn't just a transition year in Kansas City. It was an overhaul from being dead to a new era. Todd, when you came to Kansas City as an 8th-round draft pick, you had a running back room that had Paul Palmer as the number 1 draft pick in '87 through the old regime, and Christian Okoye, Barry Word, Herman Hurd, Tommy Agee, Kenny Gamble. How were you able to become successful and make the team that year and have a successful career?
I mean, it's just the mindset, I first of all, when I left, when I got drafted and left, my dad said, don't let them send you home for something that you don't know, that you didn't know or something. You know what I mean? So, he didn't have to tell me that. I felt like that. I ain't want to go home and whatnot. But it's just I started on the practice squad. A lot of people don't remember the first two weeks of the season, I was on the practice squad. Kenny broke his wrist or arm or something, and then I got my first play in San Diego. I think I went 8 for 83 or something like that. Never looked back. But it was a niche for me. You look at Christian was Christian. You know what I mean? In his skill set. We didn't have Barry yet. We didn't have Harvey yet. Herman Hurd was a lot like myself. You know what I mean? But I think in the passing game, I think I kind of just excelled at that. Pass blocking and running routes was my thing. So, that's how I end up cutting the niche for myself on the squad and then making it.
But hey, let me ask you this, man. I'm gonna say this, not to cut you off, Shaggy. Is you know, they would say, you know, on third downs, you would come in on third downs, man. And I'm gonna say this today, bro. I never looked at you as a third down back. I thought you was an every down back. You know, going back thinking about, you know, back about your career. I mean, how do you think about that when they say you was a third down specialist, man? Because that used to bother me, because I'm like, man, like I said earlier in the show, this cat could go and be, you know, starting the number one back anywhere, you know, in the National Football League, along with Barry and Christian, you know, and myself. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I you know, it bothered me too. You know.
Yeah.
It bothered me too, but you know, I mean, you get in the league, you know, you gotta get in where you fit in, bro. You know what I mean? And you know, Marty had come from Cleveland, and he had Biner and Mack, 2,000-yard rushes. We were going to run the ball between the tackles. You know, we had a 260-pound running back from Nigeria. You know what I mean? So it was just, you know, well, give me something to do, and I'll cover these kicks. You know what I mean? And so being a special teams captain 5-7 years, whatever it was, and you know, that's what I tell these young guys now, man. I coached at the Browns, and you know, you ain't gonna get the opportunity always that you want. You know what I mean? You got to take advantage of whatever it is that they ask you to do or allow you to do. You got to do like your life depends on it. You know what I mean? So you weren't going to turn on Monday Night Football back in Jersey watching the game, and you weren't going to see me doing something. I'll go make tackles. I'll cause fumbles, like something. But that's the real of the thing, man. A lot of guys, you know, sometimes you get your opportunity. Terrell Davis was a 6th rounder, and he started off. He was a special teams player of the camp in Denver. You know what I mean? Then he got an opportunity. He ended up having a heck of a career. So it's just man, this is how you grow up and what you're made of, and how are you going to approach whatever it is that's in front of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you, you got any regrets?
I regret that no, I can't say that, but like I don't have any regrets for myself. I regret that I never really got in a position to, like you said, if I was at Frisco or somewhere else. Right. I probably would have had a better chance, better opportunity to do more. But no, I ain't got no regrets. Had a great career in KC. Loved the people in KC. You know, I had a great team. We had a great team. We did. You know what I mean? And I got a chance to do some stuff. You know what I mean? I finished my career. Hey, Shane. I finished my career 5.5 yards a carry. It's better than carry all of them. I'm looking at 5.5 yards a carry.
But Todd, Todd, you proved your worth as a third down back, and you were successful at it. You were a weapon. You were a spark that clinched the game against the Chargers in 1990 for the Chiefs to finally clinch a playoff spot with that 65-yard reception on that screen pass to ice that game. And you were a weapon that was needed in that offense. In 1991, when the Kansas City Chiefs took a number 1 draft pick and running back out of LSU and Harvey Williams, what was your first reaction?
that right there, like, oh, you know what I mean? Because we already got the two giants. You know what I mean? Now they bring this guy in for we had Thunder. I'm trying to be Lightning, and they can bring this guy in. So. But it was cool. But I'm a competitor, man. I compete, and the injuries happen, stuff happens, and the old Wally Pipp story, right?
Yeah. But I'm gonna say this, not to cut you off, man. Shane, when I tell you a true professional, bro, and kept it 100 and kept it a buck, he didn't have to do it. I learned from the things that I saw what Todd did when I went to the Raiders, man, because I was the old guy when I got there, and they brought, they when I was there, I ran for back-to-back 1,000-yard, and then they bring in a little cat from Washington named Napoleon Coffin. And I'm, and if I didn't see what Todd did with me, man, there's no way that I could have brought that kid under my wing and do the things that I saw my older brother Todd do, and I could have been hating him because I played with a guy that came into Kansas City after you left, Todd. That's a Hall of Famer, and was just totally opposite on what you think a true professional would be, and help the young guys. I ain't gonna say no names because I almost got into a fist fight with his ass about 2 years ago. about this same thing. So you know who I'm talking about. But
I was there. I was there. I was there for a year.
Oh, okay, I forgot about that.
Hey, straight sabotage.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Sabotage, but I'm gonna tell you this. What I'm talking about, it happened about 2 years ago. Me and him almost got to a physical, like throwing hands, because he saw that I said some things on a YouTube channel, and I'm just speaking my truth, bro. And it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie. And like I told him, I say, man, I played with Chris Okoye and Barry Word and Todd McNair, man. They didn't do near about what you tried to do with the whole behind the scenes and orchestrating. That LA OJ Broadway shit. So
Todd, let's talk Chiefs Raiders and the rivalry. I want to get your perspective of the Chiefs Raiders rivalry from what you had to go through from your NFL career when you were with the Chiefs.
I mean, I'm from New Jersey. I played at Temple. I didn't know anything about Chiefs Raiders. You know what I mean? But the first as a young guy coming into the league, the first thing you get is Marty's passion and his Wednesday meeting. Right. When it's Raider week, you know what I mean. He don't make no mistake. Marty was highly passionate about the Raiders and stuff. And then during the week, we got closer to game week, and my neighbors decorated my yard with, you know what I mean. They had a 48 sign. They put candy on my car. It was crazy. Then I went into a McDonald's, bro. And they gave me a standing ovation. It was Raiders week. You know what I mean? They were like, kill him. I'm like, this is bananas, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it was serious, though. It was serious. And we didn't like them. They didn't like us. It was highly competitive. They had a lot of stars on their team. You know. They had a lot of high profile guys. Harvey, yes, you remember the time in the Coliseum we were walking out of the locker room, and then the Raiders running backs came out right when we did, and I grabbed Bo Jackson's arms. I'm like, look at this Joker's forearm. Look at this guy, man.
T-Mac comedian, bro. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A whole nother level, man. I've been on both sides of that rivalry, and when I can tell you, I think the word hate would be a little too strong, but both organizations really dislike each other, man. And I was on both sides of that.
It started at the top. You know what that was with Marty and you know who.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were. What a game I want to go back to is the highlight I've been showing on Facebook and YouTube this week is the J.J. Burton pass that iced that game, where you had a key block downfield on Eddie Anderson, bringing J.J. loose for that 68-yard touchdown pass. Do you remember that play? Do you remember what you had to do to knock off Eddie?
I remember. I just remember JJ caught it, and I knew if I could at least chip the guy and knock him off balance like I did, it's a touchdown. JJ was out. There wasn't nobody behind him, and JJ he's gone. So I got at him and knocked him off balance, and JJ scored. So I remember the play though.
Right. That was a big win. It led the Chiefs to have their first home playoff game at Arrowhead Stadium against the Raiders. I was there. I had freaking great seats. I was on the 50-yard line. I bought tickets to sit on the 50 because it meant so much to me that you guys beat the Raiders at home in a playoff win. Do you remember that? And is there anything you want to share about that big home playoff win, Todd?
The playoff win at home?
Against the Raiders, yes.
I don't. That's a game I don't really recall a lot of.
It was 10-6. It was a slugfest. Derek Thomas left. Derek Thomas left the game in the second quarter because he was having an irregular heartbeat. And Derod Cherry intercepted Todd Marinovich 4 times. Fred Jones caught the only touchdown pass in the second quarter. But it was as a fan, I could say it was a great game.
I remember it was, like you said, a slugfest. I'll tell you what I do remember. I remember the 3rd and 13 I got to put us into the play.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Talk about 3rd and 13 to draw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a hell of a play, yeah.
Todd, I also remember a play, if instant replay was around, it wouldn't have counted.
Pittsburgh.
Because yes, Nick Lowry missed the 44-yard field goal. Joe Montana we were trying to drive for a game-winning field goal, and he dumped that pass, and you were smooth, man. You caught the ball right off the ground, and you ran and got into field goal range, and then we spiked the ball, and they looked at the replay, and they're like, that hit the ground, and they didn't. There was no replay.
I thought for sure they were going to blow that play, did it?
But you kept it alive.
It skipped. It almost skipped into my hands. Like it hit the ground. Boop. And
Right.
I just picked it up, took off. I thought they were gonna blow the whistle, but they didn't.
Charlie, hey, let me ask you this, man. Like in high school, did you play any other sports? Because you was an athlete, because you had great feet. You know, you had your hands were they weren't as good as mine, but you know, you had great hands. You could jump. Like, what other sports did you play when you was in high school, man?
I tell you, I will always play basketball, but I never played the season. You know what I mean? Like if we play summer league, I'd ball, scored 28, 30 points. You know what I mean?
You didn't run track?
I never ran track.
Well, I thought you was fast enough to run track. I mean,
I hated running.
Really?
I hated running. But I would hoop all the time, but I would never play like officially for the team during the season. So
right.
It was pretty much just football for me.
Well, Todd, you know, I've talked to Harvey about this a little bit throughout our show this year, and that is the NFL concussions and how they're a major issue. We talked to Harvey about his on Halloween of '93, and I want to talk to you about this here. Just watch this highlight below, and you can tell me what you remember.
Picture yourself trying to cover this kickoff right here, and watch this hit that Tracy Johnson gets on Todd McNair. Man, I'm telling you. And it looks like really he was out on that when he hit the turf there, Dan. I hope he's okay.
Well, there were 3 different injuries. You just saw Michael Bates get hit. He walked off the field limping, and that is still Todd McNair on the field. Several of the Chiefs gathered around the 20-yard line to see on the condition of Todd McNair, the 5th-year player out of Temple. Also shaken up on that play was number 80, Fred Jones, but he has since been helped off the carpet, and he is apparently all right as we continue to wait for McNair.
We've got some good rules in the NFL. They do not let you block low below the waist where somebody could get hurt. But what happens, Dan, you're covering 30 and 40 yards sprinting full speed. In this case, you know, Todd McNair coming down covering that kickoff is sprinting 30 or 40 yards. Tracy Johnson gets a run of 20 yards going the other way, 10 to 15 yards to 20 yards the other way, and gets a hit. I mean, that's a lot. That's like being in a car wreck, I'll tell you.
Well, let's take another look and see exactly the impact here.
Here you see Tracy Johnson setting up right in the middle of your screen right here, and you see Todd McNair coming in right there, and just a hit that caught him right underneath the chin, it looked like, and we hope that he's okay on that. Certainly those things always worry you anytime somebody gets hit like that, and particularly some of the things that's happened to us the last couple of years in the NFL. Dan, that's one area that you're always worried about, the neck and any kind of injury to the head like that.
Yeah, well, the good news was it did not appear that his head was involved in that injury. It looked like the hit by Tracy Johnson was just underneath the right shoulder pad, but he is still down.
You can see McNair already on the ground right there, Dan, and I think that really he just got rejected by that hit.
Well, it's always scary when the player is completely motionless, and we have not seen Todd McNair move in the last several moments. There is an anxious Marty Schottenheimer. Well, the Chiefs have the early lead here, and we have a break in the action. We'll be right back. Well, the cheers you hear inside the Kingdome. Good news, Todd McNair has just gotten up off the field and apparently seems to be okay.
I think what happened there is I've actually walked down the field as a coach and looked down, Dan, and these guys will actually be snoring. They get hit so hard. They're out, really. I think Todd just got a little nap there. Thank goodness.
Well, it's good to see the
He got back
smile.
up, and he's back to the sideline.
You know, Todd, if that would have happened today, the announcers calling the game would have been a lot more nervous, because that was about, they went to 2 commercial breaks where you didn't move. And if that happened today, that would be really scary. 2 things, Todd. What do you remember about that play?
Absolutely nothing. I didn't know it happened. I ended up seeing it somewhere after I retired. You know what I mean? I never knew what happened. Like I remember the Houston one. I thought the Houston one was worse than that one. Cause I got.
Hey, let me tell you this, Shane. When he got up, he came to the sideline. He was cracking jokes and talking shit. That's Todd McNair. Hey, and I say, dog, like a day later, I said, you got your ass toe up, right? And we just, Todd was the comedian of the room, man. And, that was a wicked hit. But like I said, Todd, they call that selling out. You can't, jump around. You going out on special teams for kickoff. You can't go right or left. You got to stay in your lane and, run through the grind. That's exactly what he did. So
there were some high caliber players on special teams. Todd McNair, Dale Carter, Albert Lewis. I mean, these were like players that were needed. Todd, when you look back on that, do you? I guess what I want to ask is, do you have any lingering effects from that concussion?
Not that I know of. I mean, I don't have any disabilities or headaches or anything like that. I mean, I got a little temper, but I don't think it's from the concussion.
Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah.
But I don't
that's
have
what
any.
That's what Harvey said he suffers from now. Go ahead.
Because I had a few of them. Because they were getting ready to give me a Kelso helmet. They were getting ready. They were give me that. Remember Kelso from Buffalo? That had a big helmet. He had concussion. Man, I'll retire before I wear that thing.
Yeah. You was too cool for that. Yeah.
I was cool for that. Then I remember. The Houston hit was worse because I listen. As I came to, I was in Camden, New Jersey. I was leaving I was driving out of the car wash. Just as sure as we're sitting here talking right now, I was driving out. I wiped my car down. I pulled out on Federal Street. And all of a sudden, it's like the stadium was like kind of blinking in and out. I'm like, what the heck? I'm thinking about football. And then it switched. Then I was in the stadium.
That's crazy.
On Google, man, they said Todd McNair had an out-of-body experience. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Look that up.
But I don't have any problems, since concussion.
Thank God. I'm thankful for that. I'm always thankful for that because, you guys played an era of football where there wasn't as monitored as closely as it is now. Tua came back today, Tua Tagovailoa, and he's had some nightmarish looking concussions. And me and Harvey already talked about him. He should probably think about retiring. When you see what Tua had to go through, what do you think about what would you do if you were his agent?
I mean, us looking at it from the outside, outside in, you say, you might want to cut, retire or chill out something because his were really, the effects, the fingers and all that stuff,
right?
And the repeated times that the times that it happened, you got to worry about him, but you can't tell a warrior,
right.
What I mean? Like, there's a lot of old boxers, you know what I mean? Ali, he might have a fight or two too many,
Hey, when you start talking about $200 million too, Todd, like that's yeah, bro. So that's probably 99.9% of it right there. So
absolutely, because you're like, as a man, a father, a husband, you like, man, look, I'll take it for them.
Right. Correct.
So that's like you said, Harvey. That's probably 99% of it. Like, you're selfish and sacrifice yourself for your family, for the future of your family. I don't know.
And by the way, he looked good today too. Did you see him?
Huh?
Did you see Tua today?
I ain't seen him. Nah.
No, he looked like he didn't miss a step.
Oh yeah, he
did a stand today.
Okay.
Well, John Harrison, a big follower, says Todd did a good job did have good hands. That's why third down so much. I remember he had over 60 catches for the Oilers 1 year after he was here. So that was definitely impressive. Hey, Todd, what is your well, we're going to ask you these two questions before we let you out here, and we greatly appreciate your time. What was your impressions today of the Chiefs and Raiders game? What did you take away from it? Chiefs win 27-20.
Just, the Chiefs, the Chiefs the Chiefs now, and not just because like in a number of ways, they remind me of the Patriots. Like when Brady and them guys were
right.
I mean, they'd be playing, and they'd have some lulls in the game a little bit, and the other team would be a touchdown behind, whatnot, but they always end up finding a way to win. You know what I mean, and to capitalize on other guys' mistakes. You know what I mean? Raiders fumbled, and they had a great stop defensive. The 4 stops inside the 10-yard line. But they remind me of the Patriots then, and Pat Mahomes is definitely up there, and will at the end it'd be above or in the right there with the Brady Montana conversation.
Right, correct.
It shows you just how important those special quarterbacks are.
Right. Hey, I got one for you. Let me ask you this, Todd. That 1991 team, man. Let me ask you this. And just keep it 1,000. That 91 team, you think that team was good enough to win the Super Bowl? And if you think so, why? And if not, what you think that kept us from not going to the Super Bowl? I'm talking about that 90, my first year, because I thought that was a Super Bowl team.
Is that the Buffalo? We lost to Buffalo.
Yeah. Remember, we whooped them earlier in the year, but
we beat them on Monday Night Football, right?
Right, correct.
But I think I remember JC was hurt. And they picked on him in that game. You know what I mean? Rock had a broken thumb. Somebody was hurt. I think it was J.C. Pearson was hurt. And they went at him a lot. I think Andre Reed might have had 3 touchdowns or something like that.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, Derek, we were a little out of whack a little bit. Derek wasn't even playing that game.
He sure wasn't, yeah.
You know what I mean? They kept Derek off the field, you know what I mean, for whatever reason. And there was a little bit of confusion there, and we were a little bit out of whack there. I think that team overall, I think we needed I don't want to say that. I don't want to.
No, say it, bro. Keep it 100, man.
I think we needed a number 1 receiver.
Exactly.
We needed a number 1.
I agree.
We had good receivers.
Yeah, we have a number 1.
JJ, we had had tremendous players in their own right.
All right, we got a question from Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I think we needed a number 1 receiver, a dominant, a Michael Irvin, one of those big time gamers like that. Go ahead, Shane.
G-Pick's got a question. Did you ever get offered a bounty on a player? I know it sounds crazy now, but back then, did that type of thing happen?
Did I ever get an offer a bounty on a player?
Yeah, to go take him out.
No. No. We had personal issues with other players. We weren't as buddy as they are now.
I know.
Everybody's switching jerseys. They go on vacation.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? We're bumping heads over chicks in the club.
Yeah, exactly. Making fakes.
Yeah, so we have personal vendettas and stuff. Especially in your division, you play a team twice a year. Like you get some years long going, ongoing rivalries with particular players. You know what I mean? But never a bounty on.
Right.
And you were a Buccaneers. You were the Buccaneers running backs coach from 2019 through 2022. Your running backs, Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones II amassed 145 yards rushing against the Chiefs, beating them in the Super Bowl. What weaknesses did you see that you could attack in the Chiefs defense, being the Buccaneers running back coach for your Super Bowl champion?
Well, we played them earlier in that year. Earlier in the year. So we had played them already, and we thought we could run the ball, and we thought we could make plays with our running backs in the passing game. Rojo caught one on them, went down our sidelines, caught a flat, hurdled a guy, scored. Rojo had a big game the first game, and we thought as far as running the ball, we thought we had a chance, and we thought we could exploit some of those.
Yeah, well, Ronald Jones is a free agent. I can't believe it. He was on the Chiefs, but he barely played 2 years ago. I'd like to see him come back and play some football again with the Chiefs. But Todd, before we let you go, I need to know a Harvey Williams story that you can share publicly.
Harvey Williams story that I can share publicly.
Yeah, the fans here.
Can
he share any Harvey?
Most of Harvey's stories I can't
Yeah. Hey, don't do that because I got 2. Don't even bring that up.
Oh, wait. Hey, wait. There'll be no breaking no bro code here.
Yeah.
No, we honor the bro code.
Yeah. Hey,
I will say this. He took a lot of stuff. He took a lot of ish off of being helicoptered out of the stadium in Miami.
Yeah.
Brian Cox. I think he was already a little nervous of Brian Cox. Brian Cox talked a lot.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I still have nightmares about that, man.
They helicopter Harvey up out of there, man.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? It's funny that you tell a story about you getting knocked out. When I got hit like that, I know everybody thought I was faking, but bro, I thought I was at home watching the game. Right. The dude hit me in the side of the head. I was like, when I woke up, I thought I was at home watching the football game, man. But hey, let me ask you this before we let you go, bro. And can you hear me? His screen just went black.
No, he's there. Hold on. He went through a bad patch. Hold on.
Yeah, because it keep.
Yeah, it's an issue. He'll work out here. Let me see. It happens here, folks, during live streaming. We're working on the situation here. Harvey, what'd you think of that game, buddy? Chiefs Raiders.
Man, I liked it. I thought it was a little too close for my comfort. I thought Kansas City was looking for a way to get the Raiders the game, but Raiders offensively, we're not that good on offense, and Kansas City we're great on offense, and with that new addition with the wide receiver, I think when he learns the plays, I think that it's going to take it to a whole nother level.
Right. And, the Chiefs defense continues to shine. The Raiders had a chance to get back in this game, and the Chiefs defense, what can you say about the Chiefs defense and what they did in the second half? The Raiders started their drive at the 28-yard line after a punt return and a late hit out of bounds, but the Chiefs defense stepped up and held them to a field goal. Then Patrick Mahomes gets intercepted. The quarterback takes it down to the 5-yard line. The Chiefs hold them on 4 now. What did you think about that series?
Man, I love that series, but the way I look at it, Shane, is when we play against better teams in the AFC, we probably won't, because if you look at those 2 possessions that the Raiders had down there, I think it was inside the 5 or the 5 both times, and they didn't score. So if you're going against a team like Buffalo or guys that are not scared of us, that's not going to make that many mistakes that have pretty good football teams, we probably won't get away with that. And my thing is, if the Raiders did score those 2 touchdowns, what I think Kansas City would have figured that equation out and found the answer to win the ball game. So that's what I take from that game. I wasn't really impressed with who they were playing today because the Raiders got a whole lot of stuff that's going on, and Kansas City got another win, man. So that it is what it is.
Right. When you look at what DeAndre Hopkins brings to the team, I was shocked. He didn't get to practice with the team until Thursday, and then he comes back and he comes in and he plays. What did you think about playing him so quickly?
Well, they probably asked, hey man, just remember, 4 or 5 or 6 plays. That's something simple. When they in certain coverages, you're gonna drop zone, you're gonna do this on zone. If they man, you're gonna run a certain route. And that guy, he's been in the league for a while, and he's been an elite receiver for a long time. So for him to remember 5 or 6 plays, that's nothing for him. I think in the next couple of 3 or 4 weeks, you're really gonna see, what that trade was about. And I think it's gonna help us, further down the highway when it comes time to put up a shut up.
Definitely. All right, Billy Hodge is Shaggy Shane's #1 fan. Let's see this here. I love you, Billy. Patty McMurray says Chiefs. All right, we're back here. We're having some streaming issues. We lost Todd McNair, and we're trying to
get him back, man.
We're trying here, buddy. We're having streaming issues here. It works sometimes, and sometimes you got to go with the flow and kind of bring it down the way it is brought. Harvey, how was it today watching today's game as a former Raider? I mean, I know you got on here last week and you said you weren't going to pick who we picked. You know, on one hand, you're excited about. On one hand, you are thrilled that the Chiefs win, but when they're playing against the Raiders, how does it make you feel?
Man, I'm gonna say this, Shaggy. I can truly say that I am a Kansas City Chief former player, and I'm a former Raider. So when I'm watching the game, man, it's like when I'm watching Mahomes, I'm trying to figure out different ways on defense to slow him down, and then vice versa with the Raiders when they're on offense. When they had Devontae Adams and a couple of years ago, but Kansas City has a great defense, so that's almost like big brother playing against little sister. So my thing is, I look at Kansas City, how they're going to perform against teams that's way better than the Raiders when it comes getting close to the playoffs or getting further down in our division and see how they handle it, because number 15 is doing this thing, and I just when you start talking about winning championships and winning hardware. When you're playing against teams that not as strong as you, it really don't count. So I look at it probably totally different than you guys do. I look, as trying to win a championship further down the line. How they gonna do in a couple of weeks when they get to the meat of the schedule.
What'd you think about the field? The field, John Harrison says the field today looked chunky and horrible. Luckily, no players got seriously hurt. Slippering on that bad turf. The field looked fine for the Super Bowl, but today, I know they do it different for the Super Bowl. Being out in Vegas when you got to visit the stadium when they fly you out there to Vegas, Harvey, what do you think of the field during the regular season? When you look at that grass, how does that field look out there in Vegas?
Man, I've been on that field, man. I didn't ran on that field, and it's a fantastic field. I don't know if they watered it too much, or I don't know. I think they can bring the field in and out. I think so. I'm not sure, but things like that's gonna happen. When I played, in Oakland, man, we played on half a football field, half baseball field. So anything is better than that. But when it comes playoff times or in the Super Bowl, you want that thing to be 1,000%.
All right, Todd. Harvey's got one more question for you, then we'll let you out of here. Hopefully, we don't lose our stream. Sometimes it happens, but go ahead, Harvey, with that final question to the great Todd.
Hey, TT, I know you getting old, boy, because back in the day, boy, if somebody got you waiting, you've been gone.
Nah,
I appreciate it, bro. I'm gonna ask you this, man. That camaraderie that we had. When I was in Kansas City, man, and with Neil and Derek, and that was a special team, man. How did you feel, and where were you at when you found the news that Derek had passed away, man?
Oh man, I don't know exactly. I was home. I was home here in Jersey, and I was home here in Jersey. That killed me. We lived together our first 4 years.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking questions. And when I was there, man, I'm gonna say it again, man. You guys were like my big brothers, man. And I ran with Derek and Neil, man. And the day that I found out that he, that he was in that accident, because he didn't initially die when that first happened, man. That killed me until this. Back then, I never wore a seatbelt, man, until this day when Derek lost his life. Every time I put my seatbelt on right now, I think about Derek Thomas, man. And he was and Derek was a great teammate. He was wild, and that team was a special team, man. So I tell Shaggy, man, if any team, the 1994 team that I played for in the Raiders, and that 1991 team, we should have won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, man, I agree. But yeah, that was devastating with Derek. And my first thought was to go get on a plane, get right down there. Yeah. But then I said, all right, let me wait till it dies down a little bit, because I'm sure he's gonna have a million, family, friends, everybody.
No, he did. Yeah.
And then then he passed. So
yeah,
that was crazy. I had just lost my cousin too. Remember my cousin played with the Dolphins, David Griggs?
Yes. That happened in Miami, didn't it?
Yeah, he played for San Diego.
Matter of fact, I met him because he was with you the time I met him, bro. He was a cool dude. Man, I forgot about that. He got killed. He got killed in a car wreck, wasn't it?
Car accident.
Yeah, car accident. Yeah, I remember that. I remember him. Yeah.
It was the summer after he had gone to San Diego. The summer after he played the Niners in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yep. So yeah, that was crazy. Both of them.
Wow. Yeah, we getting old, bro.
I know, man. I know. Bald head and gray beard.
Well, Todd, I sincerely, Todd, appreciate you for joining Warchant Wrap Up with Harvey Williams and myself. I'll get you Harvey Williams. I'll give you guys a chance to get each other's numbers and stuff after the show.
Okay.
I'll text that to you. But I appreciate it, Todd. I can't thank you enough. I'm a big
Okay, hey, it was my pleasure. If you can hear me, it's my pleasure.
Love you, God.
All things KT.
I'm gonna get your number. Stay in touch.
All right, for sure I will. Thanks, King.
Thank you. That is Todd McNair, and it's great to have him on the show. I'm sorry we're having these technical issues. You can't do about it sometimes. Sometimes the stream gets hit. It's just how it works. Harvey, you know, you were in the Texas Hall of Fame, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You're in the Texas High School Hall of Fame. Is that correct?
Sir. Yep.
Okay. Just this week, we got some news that Patrick Mahomes was inducted into the Texas High School Hall of Fame. Here's what it means to him.
Playing the White House and what an honor it is to be with such a great, illustrious history of high school football in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I brag about it all the time. I think Texas high school football is the best in the world, just because the way that you have pride in the area that you're from and how you've grown up. And I played the high school football with the same kids I played Little League baseball with, and that's just how it is in Texas. Is you grow up with that dream, and it's like the movie Friday Night Lights, and you grow up with that dream of winning a state championship. I wasn't able to do that then, but we had a lot of fun times, and I still look back and watch. Even last week, I looked at the record of my high school football team. I just have so much pride in the area that I grew up in, and it's a tremendous honor to be in the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame just because of all the great players and great people that are in it.
Patrick, I know.
Harvey, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you to be in the high school Hall of Fame?
Hey, man. Exactly what he just said. It's Texas high school football is a religion. I got inducted with Drew Brees, and then just to see that Patrick just got inducted, man. It's one of my greatest achievements, and I'm with some of the greats that ever did it here in Texas high school football because they got a lot of guys that are Hall of Famers that's from Texas in the state of Texas. I've seen Florida high school football. I've seen Louisiana high school football. California high school football. There's no comparisons, man. It's like a religion, and it's real.
Yes, it's definitely awesome that you to be in great company with Patrick Mahomes. When did you go into the Hall of Fame of Texas?
2012. Went in with Drew Brees, and
what city is that in?
They have it in Waco, Texas. Probably about 3 hours from where I'm at right now. When I tell you, it's a very, very special ceremony, and a lot of things go into it. And you have probably 2,000 people that show up for it, and it's a really big thing, man. They bring you in, put you up for a couple of days, and you meet a lot of people, a lot of alumni, a lot of Hall of Famers from back in the 1920s and 30s, and it's very, very special, man. And it's one of the things that I cherish to this day.
Well, congratulations to you, and congratulations to Patrick Mahomes, baby. Hell yeah. All right, this game, let's look for the Harvey's hip hip hooray between Chief. What's a hip hip hooray today, buddy?
DeAndre Hopkins, how he came in and contributed a little bit. And I guarantee you they're going to figure it out. And Patrick was looking for him a lot today, man. So, hats off to, Coach and Patrick trying to get him involved into the offense. And, Kelsey did his thing today. And man, I just think X-Man needs to step up a whole lot more than what he's doing. I mean, he scored tonight, but I think with DeAndre on the other side, man, he needs to step his game up to a whole about 5 or 6 more levels, man. So that's when we start talking about winning championships like that, and I'm looking at a team breaking it down. I think on the offense, because we got a running game. Lamar, Hunt is I'm gonna say Lamar Hunt, but Mr. Hunt, Kareem is doing his thing, and I just think on the passing aspect of the game, I think X-Man should step his game up a little bit more. But they got him some help on the other side of the ball.
Right. And Harvey's hell nah.
Nothing illegal about it. His head's in front. Bang! Down he goes. Now look at
Man, hey, bro,
what was the Harvey's hell nah today between the Chiefs and the Raiders?
I'm gonna say this again. I know everybody think I love the Raiders. I love the Raiders. I love Kansas City. It's just the way my Raider team playing on offense when they down there. 2 different possessions inside the 5-yard line on both and couldn't score. Man, I wanted them to score to make it a better game to see what Kansas City gonna take it to the next level. So that was my hell nah for the day.
Okay, let's quickly look at these stats here. What did you see? Who impressed you when you look at these stats? Kareem Hunt had a tough 21 for 59. He did score a touchdown. They need somebody to spot him, to spell him. I can't talk Harvey Williams out of retirement to spell Kareem, so I think that they might need to pick up somebody. Clyde is still out on the post-traumatic stress disorder. Kelsey stepped up huge today. What'd you think? 10 catches, 90 yards. Was that classic Travis Kelsey or what?
That's my player of the game for me, man. Mahomes, he was 27 for 38 for 262, 2 touchdowns, and was that 1 interception, I think. But my MVP of the game was Kelsey with those 10 receptions for 90 yards and average of 9 yards a clip. He did his thing today, man. And I think further down the street, we're gonna have to come on, man. So overall, we're 7-0, and we're about to get ready and get into the meat and potatoes of the roster. I mean the schedule, and I think who we got next? The 49ers? Is it?
We got a Monday next week.
Yeah, who
next
do we
week?
play
The Chiefs play on next week. Next week on Warchant wrap-up, after the Chiefs play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football, we got Benny Thompson joining us, former strong safety Benny Thompson of the Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens, and New Orleans Saints. Anything you want to say to Benny before he joins us next Sunday? Any previews you want to give, Harvey?
Hey, stud, wild man. You know what? He used to scare me, bro. That's how crazy Benny was, man. You go down there, and before the game, he'd be like this. Like, is this dude on something? But Benny was the real deal, man. Benny used to make me nervous. I've never been scared of another man, but Benny was no joke, bro.
Well, hell yeah, we will definitely talk about that next week. Once again, your Kansas City Chiefs win 27-20 over the Las Vegas Raiders. Major thanks again to former Chiefs running back and Buccaneers. That's
the president.
That's Todd McNair calling me. Hold on. Hey, what's going on? Hey man, it was real good. Hey, me and Harvey are wrapping up right now. But I'll call you back as soon as we're done. All right. Bye. Todd's the man. Todd McNair called. Todd McNair called to thank us for being on the show again. Once again, you guys, thank you very much. Again, the Chiefs are 7-0. The Chiefs will play next Monday night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Me and Harvey will be back on here late next Monday with our special guest, Benny Thompson. And Benny Thompson will be joining us. Harvey, I love you, buddy. I know this was probably an emotional game for you, watching your two teams battle it out. But
you rubbing it in my face.
No, not doing that. You showed up.
You know what? You betted against Kansas City last week, so I'm not talking to you, bro.
That is Warchant wrap-up. Once again, I'm Shane Williams. That is Harvey Williams, and we'll be back next Monday night.
Chiefs.